Two children named Obinna and Amara grew up as best friends. Their families were close, and they spent countless hours playing, exploring, and dreaming about their futures. Obinna often marveled at Amara's beauty, her slender and well-built figure, and her radiant smile that could light up the darkest days. "Amara, you are the most beautiful girl in the village," Obinna would say, his eyes filled with admiration. Amara would laugh, brushing off his compliments with a wave of her hand. "Oh, Obinna, you always know how to make me smile." As they grew older, their bond deepened, but so did Obinna's feelings for Amara. He loved her with all his heart, but he was terrified of ruining their friendship by confessing his love. He feared that if he told her how he felt, she might reject him, and their close-knit families would be caught in the middle of the fallout. One warm evening, as they sat beneath the sprawling branches of their favorite baobab tree, Obinna gathered his courage. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the village, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. "Amara," Obinna began, his voice trembling slightly. "There's something I need to tell you." Amara turned to him, her eyes filled with curiosity. "What is it, Obinna?" He took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. "Amara, I love you. I've loved you for as long as I can remember. You mean everything to me, and I can't keep these feelings inside any longer." For a moment, Amara was silent, her eyes wide with surprise. Then, a soft smile spread across her face. "Oh, Obinna, I've always felt something special between us two." With those words, Obinna leaned in and kissed her, a gentle and tender kiss that marked the beginning of their love story. With their feelings now out in the open, Obinna and Amara's relationship blossomed. They spent every moment they could together, their love growing stronger with each passing day. Obinna treated Amara like a princess, showering her with affection and gifts. He would often tell her how lucky he was to have her, and she was the envy of all the women in the village. One day, as they walked through the market hand in hand, they passed a group of young men who were known for their admiration of Amara. One of them, Nkem, stepped forward and addressed Obinna. "Obinna, you are truly fortunate to have Amara's love. We all hoped for a chance with her, but she chose you," Nkem said, a hint of jealousy in his voice. Obinna smiled, holding Amara's hand a little tighter. "Thank you, Nkem. I know how lucky I am, and I will never take Amara for granted." Amara blushed and leaned into Obinna, feeling proud and cherished. Despite the attention from other men, her heart belonged solely to Obinna. They continued their walk, enjoying the vibrant colors and lively atmosphere of the market. Their journey to marriage, however, was not without drama. Obinna's deep love for Amara often manifested as jealousy and insecurity. He would become upset if she even spoke to another man, leading to misunderstandings and conflicts. One evening, after a particularly heated argument, Amara confronted Obinna. "Obinna, you need to trust me. I chose you because I love you. Your jealousy is driving a wedge between us," she said, her voice filled with frustration. Obinna looked down, ashamed. "I'm sorry, Amara. I just can't bear the thought of losing you." Amara cupped his face in her hands, forcing him to look at her. "You won't lose me, Obinna. But you need to understand that love is built on trust and respect. If we don't have that, our relationship will crumble." Despite the challenges, their bond prevailed, and they eventually married, becoming the village's most admired couple. Their wedding was a grand celebration, with the entire village coming together to witness their union. As they exchanged vows, Obinna promised to love and cherish Amara for the rest of their lives. Their happiness knew no bounds when Amara soon became pregnant. The news of her pregnancy brought joy and excitement, but it also brought changes. Amara's eating habits changed significantly, and she gained a substantial amount of weight. Her slender figure transformed, and with it, Obinna's perception of her beauty. At first, Obinna tried to be understanding, but his patience wore thin as Amara's weight continued to increase. He began to make hurtful comments, calling her fat and disgusting. These words broke Amara's spirit, and she became increasingly withdrawn and depressed. One evening, as they sat in their living room, Obinna's frustration boiled over. "Amara, look at you. You used to be so beautiful, and now you're just a shadow of your former self," he spat out, his voice filled with disdain. Amara's eyes filled with tears. "Obinna, I'm carrying our child. This is what happens during pregnancy. I can't control my body changing." Obinna shook his head, refusing to understand. "You could at least try to take care of yourself. You've become so lazy and weak." As Obinna began to spend more time away from home, often seen with slimmer women in the village, Amara felt increasingly isolated and unloved. Her once vibrant spirit was crushed under the weight of Obinna's insults and neglect. She felt alone and hopeless, longing for the days when Obinna treated her like a queen. Chidi, a kind and attentive neighbor, noticed Amara's plight. He often saw her sitting alone on the porch, her eyes filled with sadness. One day, he decided to reach out to her. "Amara, would you like to join me for a walk?" Chidi asked, his voice gentle and caring. Amara hesitated but then nodded, grateful for the company. As they walked, Chidi listened to her, offering words of comfort and support. He made her feel valued and beautiful again, creating an emotional bond between them. Chidi's attention did not go unnoticed by the villagers, and soon, rumors began to spread. People whispered about Chidi and Amara's closeness, and the gossip eventually reached Obinna. One evening, Obinna confronted Amara in a fit of jealousy and anger. "Amara, I've heard the rumors. Are you seeing Chidi behind my back?" he demanded, his eyes blazing with fury. Amara looked at him, her heart breaking. "Obinna, Chidi has been kind to me. He treats me with the respect and care that you no longer do. But no, I have not been unfaithful to you." Obinna's jealousy and anger blinded him, and he refused to listen. Their relationship was pushed to the brink, and Amara felt more alone than ever. As the situation grew worse, a wise elder from the village decided to intervene. The elder, known for his wisdom and understanding, called Obinna to his hut for a private conversation. "Obinna, I have seen the way you treat Amara, and it troubles me deeply," the elder began, his voice calm but firm. "Love is about acceptance and support, not insults and neglect." Obinna looked down, ashamed. "I don't know what to do. I can't control my jealousy and anger." The elder placed a hand on Obinna's shoulder. "You need to understand the depth of your mistakes. Amara needs your love and support, especially now. If you continue down this path, you will lose her forever." Obinna nodded, realizing the truth in the elder's words. He knew he needed to change, but he didn't know if it was too late. A near-tragic event forced Obinna to confront his feelings and the consequences of his actions. One evening, Amara fell seriously ill. As she lay in bed, weak and feverish, Obinna was filled with guilt and remorse. He stayed by her side, praying for her recovery. "Amara, I am so sorry for everything. Please, just get better. I promise I will change," he whispered, holding her hand tightly. Amara eventually recovered, but the strain on their relationship remained. Obinna's jealousy and anger spiraled out of control once again. One night, in a drunken rage, he accused Amara of being unfaithful and physically attacked her. Terrified for her life, Amara fled to Chidi's house. The villagers, hearing the commotion, came to her aid and took her to safety. That night, the stress and chaos caused Amara to go into premature labor. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy, but the experience left her emotionally scarred. After giving birth, Amara decided she could no longer stay in a marriage filled with abuse and neglect. She went back to her parents' house, determined to take care of herself and her child. She focused on getting back in shape, regaining her strength and confidence. Months passed, and Amara began to blossom once more. She became even more beautiful than before, and her spirit was renewed. Obinna, seeing the transformation, came back to beg for her forgiveness. "Amara, please take me back. I know I was wrong. I love you and our child. I will change, I promise," he pleaded, tears streaming down his face. Amara looked at him, her eyes cold and resolute. "Obinna, you had your chance, and you destroyed it. I will not allow you to hurt me or our child again. Leave and never come back." In a final act of recklessness, filled with guilt and remorse, Obinna took his own life. The village was left in shock and mourning, a stark reminder of the consequences of neglect, jealousy, and abuse. Amara, though heartbroken, began to rebuild her life with Chidi by her side. She found strength in the love and support of her true friends and vowed never to let her past define her future.